Everything we have talked about over the last several hours really begs the question of how important these first 100 days are for the U.S. presidency and where we go in the next 100 days and beyond that. To talk about that, I want to bring in John Fortier. He is with me here from the Bipartisan Policy Center. He is the director of the Democracy Project there. He's also the author of several books about government. And, you know, John, this sort of 100-day marker is something that really stood out with Franklin Delano Roosevelt because he got a lot done. Is it fair, though, to judge presidents all the same way?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit soon to judge presidents as for how they get things through Congress, how they get their big legislative priorities done. FDR, you mentioned, yes, that was coming in the Great Depression. It was a time where a lot was done in 100 days. Really, every president since then, we don't expect them to get their big legislative priorities done until at least August or maybe till the end of the year. So it's important for filling your positions, for starting to send out messages, but it really is not the beginning of the legislative agenda. It's only the beginning of the legislative agenda.
You mentioned cabinet picks. We know that President Trump has not filled all of his cabinet picks or even remotely close to all of his cabinet picks. When it comes to what we expect from him in the next 100 days and beyond, what are you looking for?
Well, the president is behind other presidents. Our system in America is that it does take quite a long time to get all of the many people from the outside into government positions. The cabinet comes first, and then many layers below that. So the president is behind. I think he's an outsider president. That has hurt him. The Senate has been a little slow with him, but we will see many of these positions filled over time. Those are dealing with many of the lower level policy issues that he'll have to deal with.
So positions, policy, all things we have to look forward to.
Absolutely, and really the next year I think we're looking for big things. Will he get a new health care plan put in to replace Obama's health care plan? Will he get tax reform done? Will he build infrastructure the way he's talked about it, roads and bridges to stimulate the economy? And will he build that wall? Will he do border security along the Mexican border? Those are big things that he's going to have to work with Congress on, that he'll be working with really for the whole year, and then we'll be able to judge really how much he's followed through on his promises.
And it's, of course, not just the American people who are watching what he gets done versus what he doesn't get done. What about other international powers or even other nations who aren't quite as powerful? As they watch this first 100 days, are they feeling confident? Are they feeling fearful? What do you think?
Well, I think there's a lot of anxiety for an outsider president and one who's said some things that were not traditional in American foreign policy. Presidents can't completely control how the world impinges on their presidency. George W. Bush was going to come in as a domestic president, really wasn't looking out to the world, and after 9/11 really had to change things dramatically. We've seen a bit of that with Donald Trump. He's had to react in Syria, I think, where people have judged that well. Potentially he may have to act in a very serious way in North Korea. So here's a president who in many ways wanted to stay out of entanglements, but the world may force some of those things upon him.
Yeah, certainly could be the case. We'll see what he does next. John Fortier, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you all for joining our special coverage of U.S. President Donald Trump's first 100 days in office. We continue our coverage of world news right here on TRT World from our headquarters in Istanbul, where Sally Ihan takes it away.